Good morning, everyone. I'm Carneros. I'm your host today. Welcome to Playable Worlds. And today we're having coffee with the customer service folks. These are the folks who try to answer all of your customer service queries along the way. And it can be funny sometimes. We'll tell you about that. So looking at the screen for a moment, you can see me over here in the white hat. In the middle, we have Nina. If you talk to her on Discord, you see her name as Ninja Nina. And then next to her, we have Logan. You see him as Lyric Dax. He's one of our moderators, and you see him up there. He's representing all the moderators today. On the lower level, you see Justin, who's waving at the camera. Wait, Justin. Perfect. And then next to Justin, we have Rod, the producer you most likely talk to if you're in the playtests and in the voice channel. He's the calm, steady, deep voice that answers your questions and tells you what you need to do, or when we're going to have that next feature in the game. Anyway, so none of us are professional customer service folks. In fact, raise your hand if you have any professional customer service experience. You do? Holy cow. I thought
started in the industry.
Did.
That's where I got my start. I started out on EverQuest CS team.
Nice. Okay, well, maybe I'm the only, I'm one of the minority on this then. But we don't actually have any full-time customer service reps yet at Playable Worlds. So we have a team of volunteers who just started doing it. And that coalesced into a team, so to speak. Some of us are, the ones of us who handle the incoming emails are in a Slack channel together that we named customer service, and therefore we must be the team. Great. Thanks, Nina, for putting that together. And then on the forum, on the Discord, which I have as forums, on the Discord, we get a lot of questions that come in. The moderators answer them, and also the rest of us all answer them too. I see Rod answer them, Nina and I and Justin, yeah. And then some people are a little more shy about posting on the forums, so they'll PM us individually, and we all answer them that way too. And then Nina, of course, also has to answer the ones in the Kickstarter thing because she's the best one at understanding how that software works. Because it's complicated. If you think, oh, why don't more game companies run a Kickstarter? It's because they're darn complicated. They're a ton of work, and they're not easy. Anyway, Nina could write a book on that at the moment. But we're gonna talk a little bit about what our customer experience is like here, and what we do to work with you guys, and what the most common requests are that come in, and how to handle them and stuff. Yeah, and feel free to post things in here so that post questions in chat, and we'll handle them as we go. Bingo Home Slice, over 10 years in customer service. Wow, that's valuable. Yeah. Like, for example, when I respond in email, I don't just copy and paste the same thing to people, because for some reason, I think that's uncool and cheating. So I try to write something a little bit different each time. Maybe that's dumb. Anyone who's probably a professional CS is rolling their eyes right now, but I'm trying to put some personal energy back to each person, because I don't want them to feel like we don't care about their question. We do. All of us care deeply, or we wouldn't be doing this. That's how we are. So let's go around the room for a little bit and talk about common questions or requests that you have had come into you, and try to answer it what you would do on the air to help that person. Let's go with Lyric first.
Well, what are some common things? We have people who are having trouble signing up and getting into the tests. We have people who have issues getting their roles on Discord assigned from the First Look bot. People looking for more information about Kickstarter packages. And in general, just a lot of people like to PM questions about the game, about testing, tech support stuff for Discord and Steam too. That sort of thing is very common.
Is there an obvious mistake people make the most that you want them to be aware of? I mean, these people listening into the show right now live probably all have sorted out the basic problems, but there might be people listening to the video on demand later.
Well, there's one thing that happens a lot when people go through the First Look thing to sign up and get their roles assigned. Sometimes, for whatever reason, they've never signed into Discord on their browser before, and it'll create a new Discord account. And then we'll have to go around and have Nina go into the back end and fix that, because it'll have two different emails or whatever, two different accounts. And so that can be a little bit confusing for people, I think.
Yeah, I just recently learned how to merge two accounts together. It makes you feel powerful.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. White Bingo Home Slice says whitelist firstlook.gg, and he means in your mail browser and in your mail app or webmail browser. Absolutely, that's a lot of important emails from us come actually through First Look, our partner. Thank you for that. Nina, what's a common thing that people could fix themselves that comes through? That one that you don't have to go in and do surgery on the back end?
Well, that depends. So in general, if they are already active on First Look, and if they're already active on First Look and they don't see the backer role, there is something that they can do on their own in regards to syncing their role after they log into First Look. However, the most common thing that I find is that they have multiple emails, and the Kickstarter email and their testing email were different. And so even if they were to try to do that, if their account hadn't been merged yet, then them trying to sync the role wouldn't actually make a difference. So that is probably one of the most common. However, the first, obviously the first thing they can do is attempt to sync the roles themselves. And then if it doesn't work, it's a good indication that they have two accounts. So then they would have to reach out to us, and we would have to go in and merge.
Thank you. I also just put our email address in chat. If you get stuck on something, you can send an email to support@playableworlds.com, and about, I don't know, 5 or 6 of us get a copy of that email, and one of us will grab it and wrestle it down and then write you back very dramatically. Rod, what do people ask you in voice chat during a playtest? What kinds of questions do they ask you there?
Well, certainly one of them that comes up is one that came up in our chat here of, hey, can we keep the server up longer? It's certainly, something we get asked a lot, but doesn't really happen very often, but I do from time to time. Big things that I work on, because I'm sitting in Discord a lot, is just help with the game itself. A lot of questions come up about the gameplay and how systems are currently working, or where we're currently at on the development process for it. So I spend a lot of time with that particular aspect of it. Probably those kind of the odd ones that come out there from time to time, not so common, is like I remember doing kind of tech support for a couple different people on streams. They were trying to set up streaming devices and stuff. So I was doing tech support for them on how to set up their OBS and things like that too. I try to help where I can.
Yeah, that's tricky. That's tricky. I can never, I never can really be sure how well my OBS setup is going to work until it starts going. And then once it's working, I don't want to mess with it. Yeah, I'm having a hard time picturing troubleshooting someone else's remotely. Nice.
And one of the convenient things that we have, especially while I'm in Discord, is the ability for people to share their screen. It's extremely helpful when I can actually see what they're doing to actually resolve their problems.
Oh, yeah.
So I do appreciate that. And I appreciate also a lot of our moderators and our testers that have been around for a while, because it is much easier nowadays for me to kind of be on the sides a little bit and let them take care of it and answer the questions. I'm really thankful that we have them around.
Yeah. So Justin, your mic's working again. Do you want to chime in with any questions you've seen or tricks you've thought of to tell people? Putting you on the spot, Justin. Yeah, you. Oh no, it's not working now. Ah, shoot. I heard you for a second. Oh, say something.
Looks like he's
Okay,
muted
can you
in
hear me?
Discord.
Is that
There it
better?
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Sorry about that, guys. I was having technical difficulties. I'm traveling. I'm on the East Coast right now, actually in Indiana. What can you repeat the question real quick, Rick?
Can you remember any cool customer service emails you've dealt with, or think of any tips you would give someone who's trying to figure out why their stuff's not working?
Yeah, and I think the best ones that I've dealt with are the emails where they're super specific in what exactly is happening, because that like really creates better communication where we don't have to go back and forth with like 5 different emails. Instead, I can look at what they've already tried to do. I don't have to suggest a lot of random things, but I can narrow it down and try to answer the question a lot quicker that way. And I've had a pretty great experience in mine, especially like with getting people signed up for playtest and everything, just because a lot of people that have already written in were super polite, were super patient, and it just allowed me to like help them quicker instead of both of us getting frustrated. So
Yeah. I want to chime in with one, because you made me remember something on that one. Every now and then, it's not a lot, but maybe 1 out of every 15 or 20 that comes in is Mr. Cranky Pants. They are upset about something. They're not happy. And I write back to them politely and address whatever it is they said. Sometimes what they wrote in was a combination of actual complaint and hyperbole, but I still address all of it as if it were a complaint, and I write back to them politely. And you would be surprised, more than half the time, I get a polite response from them on the second round. Especially if I can solve their issue for them, or if I can't, if I can at least make them understand why it's the way it is and when that might resolve itself in the future, they sometimes come around and come back and are supportive and cool at that point. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they come back and maybe they're professional trolls or something, and then at that point we'll just stop. But I do enjoy when that pays off. It doesn't always. It costs some energy. You have to be thick-skinned about it. But I've seen it work enough times now that I have the confidence to go in and try it.
I will mention that all of the support from Kickstarter to now, even with those that have been frustrated, I haven't had a scenario where they didn't turn around, because we're also we try to be very responsive. We definitely try to cater to each individual for their requests. And, some of them, they have at least 5 questions and 5 different types of state comments or requests within one email, and we try to kind of tackle each one separately. And I think, the more often than not, they turn around and they're very excited to play Stars Reach. They're very excited to be a part of the project, and we're very excited that they're here. And it's not like we don't have the ability to take critical feedback. And even when we've had discussions with various community members about tiers and getting feedback and stuff, and it's been, I feel very grateful that the community is so hands-on. And not only that, but more often than not, they're very patient and they're very appreciative when we do a lot of the service requests and respond to them. And I think, which makes me curious, is it usually is it more often an issue for customer service requests to go unanswered? Is that a common thing? Just as a general question.
If you're asking us or not, but
Yeah, I'm
just
asking
my
you guys.
experience in it, depending upon the different companies are much more punctual, I guess would be the answer on answering questions and stuff. Oftentimes, from my experience of going through various game companies and putting in a support ticket, sometimes my answers take weeks to get answers and resolutions on things. We're trying very hard to not be that case.
Yeah.
Or you just get a generic template kind of dismissing whatever. It's something I've run into before. And we always try to really, pay attention to people individually and build a rapport with them, kind of. And see to their needs.
That's definitely how we've, all of us in this room have responded and are continuing to, is that we, obviously as we scale, we will need, additional processes and additional support. But, I think it is fundamentally important to us that we give that type of attention and response times to our community members.
Yeah.
Actually,
I've seen it take weeks. Justin.
Oh, I was just going to kind of chime in with that because I worked at a call center like years ago, and a big problem there was customers would just continue to get sent to different departments, and no one would ever really look into the issue. And like Nina was kind of saying, is that this is more of a one-on-one type of thing where you aren't going to get pushed around to another department. It's more, hey, here's a different problem, and even though I might have not had experience in that, I'm going to try to solve it. So I think that helps.
Also, I believe a couple of times I've seen it where people wrote in and had they either had a suggestion or a request or a complaint, but it boiled down to they wanted us to do something different, especially about the Kickstarter. They wanted a different package, or they wanted to have a different payment method or something. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Nina more than once actually changed things on the back end for them, like got them a pay over time option, or got us to put in a different package that more fit what people wanted. Or I saw her bring back a sold out thing again right at the end and give them a few more, things like that were, she went and she's got more back end power than the rest of us. She can do things. And Nina, tell them a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was, again, we really tried to listen to the community. And obviously some of the Kickstarter tiers, they get a little bit more hefty, right? And Kickstarter didn't have the pay over time option for us, and so that was what inspired us to build out our direct store so that we can offer that, utilizing the integrations that we have with our payment partner. So you know, we heard, we heard the community loud and clear, and there's still in some countries, it's not as easily available. We tried to really, I think I set up 4 pay over time partner options, and not all of them are available in every country, right? So that's the part that I couldn't necessarily solve for everyone, but I really tried to see what we could do, to offer the pay over time to as many countries as possible. But yeah, in terms of coming up with additional tiers, that was a really fun exercise, and that was a team effort all the way, because we had to figure out how to kind of manage, putting some of the most requested items together, and also we were very sensitive to time zones when we were doing the early birds, right? And that's why we also wanted to make sure that we gave an opportunity to various time zones to be able to get in on the early bird pricing, and that it didn't just favor one time zone, right? So we did put a lot of thought into it, and that was also, as a team, we discussed it and figured out how we wanted to release some. So obviously some of the times I had to stay up kind of late to make sure that I released it on the back end at certain times. Fortunately, in general, I'm a what do you call it? A night owl. So that worked out okay.
Yeah. I find that there are a certain percentage of people who write in on a customer service ticket, pardon me, who think we're a big company or talk to us like we're a big company, or they assume no one's actually going to read this email. So they say whatever is on their mind as if they were talking to a machine or a picture of the front of a company or something. And then it comes in and I'm like, no, I'm human. I had breakfast this morning. I remember it distinctly. And just if you write back as in human mode instead of business mode, you'll get a better response. And yeah. That's what, gamer slang allowed. You can use gamer slang in an email back for customer service. It's better than sounding fully corporate. And it's also better not to have too many typos so they don't think, that, well, so they don't think you're an outsourced overseas thing or something. No, we're really, yeah, it's funny.
I just insert typos into my comments so that they know that I'm human.
Nina does the same thing with emojis.
Oh yeah, I just throw in emojis.
One of the advantages we do have right now is that as a smaller company and a smaller population with our testing groups that we can have that personal interaction from it, which is kind of nice to be able to sit there and really see them as a person and not just a customer.
Yeah. Ideally, we want people who are writing in to talk to us to see us as a person and not just a company. So that's fair. We see them as a person and not just a customer. Yeah. All right. There's a question here from chat. How do you all imagine your CS requests changing over time? And how do you all imagine player-run guilds being involved with the new player experience in the future? Oh, that's 2 completely separate questions right there. Let's ask a volunteer to take the first one. How do you imagine our CS requests will change over time?
I'll take the first one. I will not take the second one. But the first one, because we are a small team and currently how we process the request is pretty, it is possible that we could, have multiple people respond to the same ticket. So we generally utilize Slack to be able to say, hey, I'm responding to this one, hey, I'm responding to this one, or this is how many I got on which platform that we're responding on, because keep in mind, we have various platforms, right? So we do have email, Discord, Kickstarter, the Kickstarter inbox. So right now it's kind of reliant on the internal team communication versus a ticketing system. So I do see in the future, actually that's something that we're trying to work on building right now, is a process in which we can assign tickets, but it still, obviously, our objective is to respond faster. And one of the things is sometimes I do feel like we could even respond faster than we do now, because some of us are hesitant to respond because we think someone else is responding, right? So, there's a reason we do want to kind of implement a more structured process in getting responses out and resolving tickets faster and more efficiently, and also making sure that we designate the right people that are able to respond effectively, right? For example, a lot of the back-end stuff when it comes to playtest access, not the playtest itself, right, but just the access. Right now, I do a lot of that. However, if there is something that has to do with like the servers during the playtest, and it comes to me, and I'm just kind of like, right, what do we do? And I like pass it back, So I think once we do implement those systems, then we'll actually be able to be a bit more efficient and, have the right eyes looking at the tickets, sooner than later.
The Spider-Man famous meme where 3 Spider-Man are all looking at each other and pointing? That's me and Justin and Nina when an email comes in. We're like, which one? Did you get it? Am I doing this one? That happens every day. It's great. But I actually want to take the second half of Nagelum Boyd's question there. How do you all imagine player-run guilds being involved with the new player experience in the future? I want to do this one. In my experience in Sandbox MMOs, they quickly become complicated, many-faceted creatures to learn how to play these games. There is a lot going on. One layer of it is simple, but a lot of it is nuanced and complicated and goes bigger and bigger. The most effective, best way to learn it is to join a guild. Join a guild and then have your guild mates coach you as you go. That's the best way. EVE Online, pain in the neck to learn how to play that game. I joined EVE University, a player-run, player-started organization that's just for training other people how to play EVE. And that was the best way. That was a good way for me to learn. But even better is to just go straight to a regular player guild. EVE University was a player guild, but it was a specialized thing with classes and people RPing teachers and stuff. And that worked great. But if you had joined Goonswarm or Pandemic Horde or Test Alliance Please Ignore or Fraternity, you would have actually learned the game even faster by doing with support from people. In our game, in Stars Reach, it's going to be like that. The fastest way to learn would be join a guild, make friends, get on comms with them, listen to their coaching, and go for it. That will be the fastest way to onboard new players. I know this, and it doesn't matter how many times we make a new player experience. The players will be better at it.
Yeah, in the end, we make it a point. We make it a point to try to make a good first person or new player experience, and we put together all these fatuis for it and stuff. But the reality behind it is most people don't read them, which is fine. Some people do, some people don't. And we add extra things in game, like our F1 screen to give you the help screens to allow you to learn the game. But Rick's completely right. The best way to do it is to find friends in game that are going to help you and learn it. Right now, the way we're doing that through this right now is Discord. The people that join our Discord and actually get into voice and stuff learn the game so much faster than those that try to do it on their own. And that is kind of like our guild right now is that Discord. But as we get in the future, that's going to break out into several different friends groups and guilds together that will do that instruction for us.
Also, it's the middle of the show, but I still want to throw out a big thank you to Thomas, who is not only the stream engineer for this and running this whole thing, but he's also playing the game in the playtest and streaming his gameplay to the screen for you to look at while we're playing and showing us how exactly to get killed by monsters and things like that. Thank you, Thomas. Every time you get down to like 10% health remaining, I get stressed out over here thinking, run away, you're gonna, and then you just eat the next blast and keel over like Thomas. Anyway, just teasing you, bro. But big thank you. All right, yeah, keep going with the questions if you guys have any. Appreciate it. Do we expect Playable Worlds to actually hire professional customer service people at some point in the future?
We will need more support. So, yes. Especially
Okay.
be blunt, this little tiny ad hoc team is not scalable, right? So especially as we continue to scale and go into 24/7 and go into these various phases, like we currently, our group does not have 24/7 coverage. And so I think, it's inevitable that we will need to scale and bring on more support individuals and build the team a bit more.
I don't know, a few of us in this group would sit there and go, oh, sleep is overrated. We don't need that.
You're not wrong, Rod. You are not wrong.
I need sleep. I need sleep as much as I need coffee. So I'm going to disagree on that.
I need sleep too. I don't know how some of you do it. Like I'm getting emails and everything at 2, 3 in the morning. So
exactly. Lyric, I heard a rumor that Playable Worlds is recruiting more moderators.
True.
Tell us about that. Is that true?
Yeah, we are looking for more moderators. We've put out a couple of requests for applications. We're still accepting new ones. We would really like someone in the time zones between roughly India and New Zealand and everywhere on that side of the world, because we don't have any coverage there. But yeah, we would love to hear from y'all.
Yep, thank you. We've gotten a chunk. We've gotten 14 so far, I believe. But we could use this help before we get into 24/7 mode, because our moderators work hard already, and we're only playtesting in specific chunks of time, which we appreciate, Rod. We absolutely appreciate that, but 24/7, we're going to need, we don't have like an AI agent for Rod that we can just put in the channel to take care of people all night. Nope. That'd be nice.
You mentioned that we've gotten like 14 or 15 applicants so far. How many are we looking to fill?
I don't think we have a specific number.
Not
Maybe
a hard number.
Any as we can get?
Not
well,
necessarily as many.
no. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we could onboard
3,
4 or
4.
5.
Yeah.
If we, I think 4 is probably the right number right now, and then take onboard another set after that, because there's a fair amount to absorb in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think scaling 3 or 4 at a time makes sense for right now.
We have some good mentors to help someone in this.
Is this where we do the ad of like, if you're looking to help out other players, you know a lot about Stars Reach, you want to help us, come join.
Send an email to support@playableworlds.com and just say moderator or moderator applicant or something, and tell us a little bit about yourself. It's also helpful if you give us your Discord name. If you're not in our Discord, we'll send you an invitation.
Please definitely tell us your name, because we did run into that a few times. And we can't get to know you if you're not on Discord. You know, we like to see what you're about.
Yeah, but we're going to do the first interviews with people next week. So that'll be really nice. Oops, we lost someone.
We lost Justin.
Yep. He probably knocked his video camera off. Something.
His computer may have died or something.
Since Justin is indisposed at the moment, I'm going to do a leak. Are you ready for a leak, guys?
Oh yeah.
At some point today, we're going to do a lore drop. Yes. We have a short story from Eve. Excuse me. From Stars Reach Lore. Oh, Rod. The condemnation in your face. Oh my goodness. But yes, Stars Reach Lore. We're going to drop this short story on y'all today. And I am excited about that. The lore drops are my favorite part. I know, Bingo. I was doing so well up until that point. Oh, well. Thank you. Please do not clip that part, you guys. Anyway. Yeah. So that'll be fantastic. We'll post it on the forums. We'll put an excerpt on the Discord.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We'll post it on the website. We'll put an excerpt in the Discord, and then we'll put links to it on social media and in the newsletters. So you'll see that it's you'll see it and pop in and read it. To be honest, I haven't even had a chance to read it yet myself. I'm excited. And I need to do that in case Sean needs visuals. Justin poked me and said his computer died. Poor guy. I bet he was running on battery on his laptop in his car on vacation. Oh, poor guy. Oh, well. Okay. Is it related to the paragraph Raph dropped earlier about the potential destruction of Mycedium? Honestly, I can't tell you because I haven't read the piece yet. It is... Chotomate kudasai. The title of the piece is Another Working Day. That doesn't tell us anything. Nope, we're gonna have to wait and see. But we have a treat waiting for us. A lore drop is as good as cake, if you ask me. This is going to be wonderful. This is going to be wonderful. And actually, I also don't know anything about the potential destruction of Mycedium. But all eyes turn to Rod. Rod, do you know anything about Mycedium being destroyed? Is it going to be an external event?
I have no idea. I'm frantically searching for this post right now. My guess is it's probably about the fact that we're probably going to be redoing our flora again with the next update. So we're probably going to be clearing all the flora that's currently on the worlds and repopulating it again. But we have no intention of destroying the worlds right now. So with the next publish, we should be able to continue the current players and the buildings and stuff that are there.
He posted a link. Joe Bob Briggs says, check it out.
I'm also very excited. Raph, the lore that he writes is just incredible.
Yeah, I love every time Raph drops a new lore post. It's always exciting.
Yeah.
So good.
Even if you're not a person for whom lore is a big element, these are cool stories, and they give you insights into the game. Absolutely. But I'm also a person who, if I play a game and that game has novels from their IP or something, I buy all the novels. If I draw your attention back here for a second, I have a whole section of World of Darkness. Those are all World of Darkness out of print paperback novels that I went through the special hunt down service on Amazon to locate copies of all of those books as used books and buy them from all over the place. And as far as I know, I got the whole set. But I love reading novels from the settings of these games.
World of Darkness is a really cool setting. I'm a big fan of it too.
Oh, there is a character I'm very excited about in here. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you guys to read this.
Oh, shoot. I want to see it too.
Ugh, so excited. Okay.
Oh, Thomas, I love it. You put yourself in Justin's slot and solve the video problem. Yay!
Thomas.
Well done, sir. Can you talk too?
Now, yes, I can talk.
Yeah. All right, good. You do. Well done, sir. Much appreciated. And I hope you'll help me next week on Thursday in this time slot. We're going to do another developer interview with one of our brilliant engineers named Nathaniel. And Thomas and I are going to interview him. Hopefully you guys can't hear the dogs getting crazy in the background.
This time we heard one bark. Only one.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right, excellent. Okay. We can talk about anything now at this point. He's been, I do want to say that if you're reading the general channel in Discord, in the official Stars Reach Discord, you know that Raf's been working hard on cooking this week. And he also answered some questions in the last X number of hours on, it's not apothecary. What is the one with herbalism? I guess it's herbalism and what do you, making things out of herbs. I'm trying to remember what the words are. But he's got some cool stuff. Some of it overlaps between cooking and herbalism, like making various teas for various, or a poultice to put on a wound, or various things. He had some cool stuff he put in salves. Yeah, exactly.
And he talks about oils and dyes too. It looks really cool.
Yes, yeah, like fabric dyes and things like that, and various oils. Yeah, tea, bingo, home slice, tea, Texas tea. Just kidding, but various teas, and
thank you.
And it hasn't leaked out to the Discord yet, but our man Dave G has been working on some animal taming stuff, creature taming, I guess is a better thing. So that's making good progress. And he posted an internal document for us to look at. And of course, Nina and I have not had time to look at it yet. Rod might have a reaction.
Well, the interesting thing we're finding right now is that a lot of the systems we put in thus far have been kind of separated a little bit. And while Raf got it involved with the cooking and started really building into it, we're finding that as soon as we hit one, they're going to cascade into each other a lot, which means we have to flush out a lot of our systems that we previously had the basic design for, but we didn't have it really completely flushed out. And we're having to do a lot of that right now, which is where we're seeing Dave jumping into xenobiology, into taming. We're looking into cooking. We're looking into various different, a lot of crafting systems. And we're having discussions, which some people have seen on the Discords, of just how complicated we want these to be. Because there are certain people out there that want, in order to make a tea, you have to make several different sub-combines for it, put them all together, whether you want to spice it right, you want to do different types of actions for it. And then there's others that, you want it kind of simplistic. So we need to find that right balance between it. And when we develop the one system, that's going to cascade to all of the systems and how complicated they are. So it's an interesting time right now because we're really able to put a lot of those together.
It's so exciting to see. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Rod, are we going to have coffee too, or just tea?
For you, we'll make it happen.
Thank you.
Just for you, though.
I like tea. I like tea also, honestly.
Just no sweet tea.
We are having coffee with customer service this morning, so it's on theme. Nina, you drink both?
Oh, of course, I'm Japanese. I drink matcha like water, but I do drink coffee. I do like a lot of coffee. The only thing is I am not into sweet tea. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Does not compute.
It's very popular where I'm from, but it's a bit too much sugar. I don't really do it anymore.
The first time I tried it, I was so confused.
It's like a.
That was a culture shock, for sure. I didn't understand.
Yeah, if you go on a visit to Japan, you'll find that the selection of teas in like vending machines or 7-Eleven or various restaurants you go to, they're different from the selection of teas you see in the U.S. So
yeah, I'm actually surprised that mugicha, which is like barley tea, is not as popular here when that's something that is caffeine free and it's safe for kids and it's really delicious. It is really delicious tea. And I guess I'm just surprised it's not really a big thing here, but that's like one of the family friendly teas that, it's not like oolong or matcha, which does have, caffeine in it, but one day try to make it popular here. Be
the
nice.
Japanese have a tea I really enjoy that's a blend of, I believe it's a blend of toasted rice and green tea in the same thing. And it feels homey and hearty.
Ginja. I think that's
Genmai
yeah.
cha, something like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I don't drink that one too much. My favorite is oolong and sakura sencha, so like cherry blossom.
It has sakura
tea?
in it. That sounds
Green
great.
tea? Oh, it's so good.
It sounds super.
So good. It's really funny we started talking about teas. we should have cherry blossom tea in the game.
That'd be great.
I've never heard of cherry blossom tea, and I'm embarrassed to say that. Now I want to try it.
Now I need to like send it to you, Rick. I feel like you must try it. It's so good.
Next time you're down for a meeting or something, bring me a
I'll
packet.
bring it. For sure.
Okay.
I will. I have a lot of it. I got it anytime we go back to Japan, we'd stock up on tea because we go to Kyoto and because we don't have as big of a selection here and it's a lot more expensive here if you get, Japanese tea.
Yeah. But, tea and coffee very much help when you're answering customer support questions that come in.
That's true.
Just to bring that back.
Actually, I'm drinking bulletproof
Or something
coffee.
stronger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Are you putting any of the special milk stuff in or butter or whatever?
Yeah, so it's collagen. I actually use coconut oil. There's actually another team member at Playable Worlds that drinks bulletproof, and we were at our little offsite. Damon also drinks bulletproof coffee.
Wow.
And so we put collagen and coconut oil. Some people uses ghee. Ghee. I don't know which way to say it.
I think it's called ghee. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's delicious.
I think I had ghee once in my life. I was traveling in the Gobi Desert in Mongolia, and I signed up for a little guided tour thing, and they took us in a little Toyota minivan in the middle of nowhere to one Mongol yurt with a family living in it, and they were prepared to receive visitors. I guess they were paid to represent a Mongol household for visitors. We went into their yurt and sat down, and they solved us. We sat on a kang, which is this. It's like a covered box that you sit on that's over a brazier so that it's heated from the underside, kind of like fancy car seats in a Mercedes. So you're, because it was cold in November in the Gobi Desert, and they served us a weird tea that had grain floating in it and stuff, and it was good on a hot. It was a hot liquid, not sweet, savory, and it sort of had was a combination of tea and I think a little ghee, and I think the grain was called gaoliang. I don't know how to. I don't speak Mongol. I can speak Chinese, and there was a translator who could go between Mongol and Chinese to help us, and that was.
Rick, I don't know if everybody knows this, but do you want to? How many languages can you speak?
No, really only three. Really only Chinese, French, and English. But
You
I
dabble in a
I can
lot of
get away
languages.
with another six or so that I
Yeah.
just know a little bit.
Like
But
I'm
yeah,
always surprised when Rick throws down like little Japanese when like you and I are usually meeting, and then when Thomas is meeting, he'll throw out some Italian, and then yeah, it's like I feel like I've heard you over the span of time we spent together. I've like at least 6 different languages, at least.
but yeah, fun. Tea is fun. Tea is fun. I agree.
What?
We're off
I have a
track.
question. What
Yes.
type of coffee do you guys drink? Like when you drink your coffee, how do you like it?
I get
Derek.
these K cups offline. It's like I don't know. It's like a space themed brand. It's just different strengths of black coffee though. They have names like Bean Me Up. They're kind of corny, but they're cheap and strong. So I use those. I just get my delivery every 2 weeks. I used to love to do like a New Orleans style cafe au lait with chicory in it, but it's too much trouble when I could just do this easily.
Wow. Chicory. Never had that.
Thomas, stand by because I'm going to ask you next. Rod, what about your coffee? Do you have a coffee habit?
I like to add water and remove the coffee.
Okay, I hear you. Thomas,
We
you're supposed to have elevated taste as an Italian.
Yeah,
Tell
we
us
have
about
a different
coffee.
culture about coffee. Like you drink big cups of coffee, like half a liter. At least that's what I see on movies. And we drink a very small portion of it because if you drink the same amount, you'll end up to the hospital probably. But I mean, I drink it in the morning, still with milk because I'm allowed to have a good and big breakfast like a child. I won't hide that, okay. But yeah, if you go to a pub or any place and you ask for a coffee, they'll give you probably 1 centimeter or 2 of coffee, like very small portion of it.
Little espresso. Yeah, I love
Mhm.
Italian coffee. It's so strong and
And
it's such a good flavor.
We have so many types of coffee and experiments from, I don't know, you know the brand Nespresso? What else?
Yeah.
It was with Clunade yet? Yeah, so that's a known brand here, but we have also Illy, we have well, I don't remember all the names, but yeah, we have a lot you can choose from.
Yeah, my boyfriend is a huge Nespresso fan, and my sister is a recent convert to it as well. So yeah,
good.
it's that stuff's intense. It's very good.
It's so good. They just released the pistachio vanilla, so I usually drink the
Yeah.
almond vanilla double espresso, and then they recently the pistachio one's really good. But I am also an avid Nespresso person, but I like espresso just in general, anyways. Rick, what about you?
Nice.
What's your style of coffee?
I I'll drink anything pretty much. I'm okay with Denny's Diner coffee, McDonald's, Starbucks, Pete's. I do love Pete's if you've got one near you. I'll drink K-cups or Nespresso, or I appreciate an Italian espresso. If I'm in Europe, I will go in the morning and get one and tiny little piece of bread, and I'll enjoy it and appreciate it. Oh,
Ooh.
guys, we're out of time. Oh,
Flies.
Thanks for being the producer, Rod, and keeping us on track. I appreciate that. Ethiopian, absolutely. Turkish coffee. In college, I had a Serbian girlfriend who would make Turkish coffee every afternoon on a little brazier on the floor where we were studying at a university in Beijing. And her girlfriend would come over and they would speak Serbian to each other and make this coffee and serve it to us. And we would sip it. And at the end, we would take the little cup, turn it upside down on the saucer, and leave it for a while and talk with each other. And then she would come back, rotate it around so that the handle was at the 9 o'clock mark, lift it up, and read the coffee grounds and tell the future. Except that she would only do it in Serbian to her girlfriend and not tell me anything that she saw because I didn't speak Serbian. And it was a very funny story from my past. But yeah, coffee around the world's all good. Try it anywhere you go. All right, thank you to everyone. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Justin, even though you probably can't hear us at the moment. Thank you, Larrick, and the moderators that are represented behind Larrick that you can't see. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Rod. And thank you, audience.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Support at playableworlds.com if you have a customer service request.
And see you the next
Nice.
time.
See you guys.
See you next time.